I'm on the line with him. Where are you calling in from?
Kayo! Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Daniel. I'm in Texas, but I'm from Alabama, so I'm a Texas Bama.
What are your thoughts on? I mean, you're in the Houston area. I mean, you're
Right.
you were close to the Bill O'Brien when he was, in that area. People didn't like him there, and as soon as he came, for whatever reason, that stigma just followed him. People felt in Tuscaloosa that he was going to be like the GM of Alabama football. We're like, he's just the OC, and he has Bryce Young,
Right.
but people were like, we hate him, and people just didn't like him. I felt at times, even me myself, I felt that sometimes it was a vanilla type offense, whatever the case. So now he's out, and you have Tommy Rees who came in. We all know the backstory with him and Brian Kelly. He's 31 years
Right.
old or whatever. He has the keys to Jalen Milroe and these elite wide receivers and a ton of running backs. What's been your take on Tommy Rees thus far?
Well, I believe that Tommy Rees is opening up the playbook week by week. I'll say that to get that out there. I believe that the play calling is improving. At first, I wasn't exactly too happy with him. We really felt more run centric, and I felt that we needed to pass a little more. And this is the point I'll make for that. When we went up against Texas A&M, I was at that game with my son. It was amazing to watch. A lot of people are really hard on Milroe, and I know you asked me about the OC, but once we opened up the playbook and started allowing him to pass a little bit more, he threw some darts in the corner of the end zone that Burton was about to run out of real estate. And guess what happened? The Tennessee game, he opened up the playbook a little bit. We actually had a design quarterback run with this stallion in the backfield. Finally, I'm like, why don't we do that a little bit more? So I wasn't high on him at first, but now I am. I'm getting there. And I think the second half of Tennessee, as we saw, I told my brother, he was like, what do you think is going to happen? I said, the second half won't go down like that. I said, we got to let him pass the ball. And guess what happened? We started passing the ball. Everybody, Milroe can't pass. Long bomb. Intermediate. Hey, Burton, here you go. You know what? You can get some of this pass action too. And we came out and dominated because he opened up the playbook. So I think that's what has to happen, and I think that he's improving with his play calling as well, filling out Jalen Milroe, what he can do, his gifts, his talents, his weaknesses, and it's improving.
Remember that photo that was like going around? Somebody took his photo up in the booth, and he's just like has his hands on his head. He was frustrated. It hasn't been the best. Look, we have seen some creativity from him starting to blossom. I remember there was a jet sweep that Amari Niblack ran against Mississippi State. Everybody's talking about Kendrick Law and kind of the shovel pass that he received because he's a player that probably needs the football more. All of those sophomores need to be fed. We know that. Isaiah Bond, Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice. You're even starting to see Emmanuel Henderson, who looks good when he's working out in warm-ups. Those guys are all sophomores, which is amazing, right? Jermaine Burton has emerged as wide receiver number one. Haven't really seen Ja'Cory Brooks at all. He's kind of just completely fallen off. And Malik Benson, I don't know if it's so much of a talent issue or a schematic issue or just whatever, but he's really been a non-factor. I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, and that's not knocking him. That's just he's not being utilized. So maybe at some point in time, but I mean, CJ Dupree gets more receptions than he does as a tight end. So, I mean, that's just, and you got to think maybe there'll be a time where Malik Benson will beat someone over the top. But if Alabama is really diving in and they need their weapons, it's Jermaine Burton, number one, and Isaiah Bond, number two. 100%. And if you need to pick up a first down, they're probably going to go to like Kobe Prentice or something like that because he's been very dependable. But those are their wide receivers this year.
We've even had a young, I think what's the guy's name, Jalen Hell.
Oh yeah. And, good point out. Jalen Hell. And I think that I'm bringing up the stats right here. I can fly through them real fast. So Jermaine Burton has 508 yards. Isaiah Bond has 360. Amari Niblack has 218. Kobe Prentice has 186. Jace has 10 receptions for 72. Malik Benson has 8 for 91. Roydell Williams has 7 for 24. CJ Dupree has 6 for 119. Kendrick Law has 5 for 54. Ja'Cory Brooks has 3 catches this year. That's crazy, for 30 yards. Jalen Hell has 3 for 68. Everybody, got excited about Jalen Hell because he had a nice showing against Ole Miss. Chance, welcome to the show, man. Good morning to you, and take it away, man. Tommy Rees, kind of your thoughts on Tommy. I mean, has it been a step up from Bill O'Brien, or do you feel that it's been a small step forward? Are you happy with the offensive coordinator who's now in his first year with Alabama and going against Brian Kelly, who we used to? There's some history there for sure.
Well, Brian Kelly wanted him, bro.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly wanted him to come to LSU with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he tried to get him. He didn't know. He didn't take Marcus Freeman with him. He didn't want to take Marcus Freeman with him.
Uh-huh.
He wanted to take Tommy Rees. Now, I don't know how well that always works out. You know what I mean? Like, I think everything works out for a reason. And I don't know why. I never really had that big a problem with Bill O'Brien. Not really, really. When you think about it, he produced a Heisman Trophy quarterback. All right, 2,000-yard receivers with Jameson Williams and John Mechie, a SEC championship, and a playoff run. So, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I don't see all the X's and O's quite as good as everyone else does. But I didn't ever really have that big of a beef with him.
It seemed like when
you got
Bill
Bryce Young and you got a one.
It seemed like when Bill O'Brien was here, him and Pete Golding were just the scapegoats for every single thing. Now, we understand now how the defense has transformed under Kevin Steele so quickly.
Right,
but, if you had a bad day, it was like, it's Pete Golding's fault. If you got stuck in traffic, you're like, damn it, Pete Golding. Construction on McFarland here in Tuscaloosa here, like, damn it, Pete Golding. And then the thing with Bill O'Brien was people just didn't like him from the get-go. Nobody did. Like, as soon as he hired him,
I don't know.
People didn't like him.
Yeah, I did. I never understood that, man. Like I said, his stats speak for it. He produced a Heisman Trophy quarterback, first one out of Alabama. Sarton didn't do that. Nobody else did that. And he took us to a natty. You know what I mean? Yeah. We didn't win it, but we beat the brakes off the best Georgia defense of all time, probably the best defense of all time. So. But back to Tommy, I mean, I think he's dealing the cards he's dealt. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to. Man, I can't imagine the pressure of being 31 years old, being an offensive coordinator for an elite school like Alabama for Nick Saban. I can't imagine, man. Me at 31 years old, there's no way I could have done that. Probably. But it would have been awesome to try. But I think he's doing the best he can, man. I think that sure, he could be more, creative in some ways, and I think we're seeing that. I think that we're trying to make that happen, like those little screens to Law and all that. Like, that's showing that he's involving. You know what I mean? Like, getting routes better for Jalen and stuff like that. Like. Yeah, I mean, we've been spoiled to a generational type of quarterbacks with Tua and Bryce and stuff like that. Like, Mac was a 3-star recruit, man. 3-star. Yeah. And look what he turned into. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, it takes time. It's not like they just come on and they're just like that. That's rare that they do that. I mean, even Jaden Daniels, he's like a fifth or 6 years. You know what I mean? Yep. So that stuff doesn't happen overnight. So I think Tommy's doing a good job. Yeah, I think he's doing a good job.
Carl, what's going on, man? It's G. And the Tommy Rees, I think Tommy Rees is a great OC. Mm-hmm. A lot of people disagree because they, like I said, when I said this, when I called in about 2 days ago, a lot of people complain about what he's calling. But it's no shot to Miro. It's just his weak point. If Miro could hit the 5 and under, we would be calling Tommy Rees Steve Sarkisian. Mm-hmm. He just can't consistently hit what the defense gives him. You get what I'm saying? So you can't judge the OC completely yet.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will dislike about Rees is he thinks he has that Notre Dame type of O-line where he could just run interior runs all game.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have that right now. Maybe our team can develop into that as the season go along. You know, Bama tends to do that well around week 10, week 11, week 13. We're just so unstoppable. But I like Rees. I just understand that Miro is not able to hit the short stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it hard for you to say, well, what's Rees calling? Mm-hmm. And I'm not putting it on Miro. It's just everybody has a strength and a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And his weakness right now is the 15 and numbers. If he could hit those, Rees will be looking like one of the best OCs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, this Michigan sign stealing stuff. What's your take on it?
This is what I would say about it.
You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, Kyle, it's Crimson Blood 22 from Fredericksburg, Virginia. Happy with Tommy? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm much happier with Tommy than I was with Bill O'Brien. So I feel like Tommy still has some room to grow. And I think he's doing all that he can right now. I would like to see some more screens, mm-hmm. but I don't know if it's so much Tommy as it is with the wide receivers. I really need to see more blocking from like Malik Benson and some of these other wide receivers. I kind of feel like they're just like pulling up and just sort of like standing there watching the action happen. Mm-hmm. Like when you go back to the days of the ride out, wide receivers, they all would block for each other. Yep. They would take pride in not only catching the ball and, ripping off 20 yards, but in blocking for the other people. I would like to see more of that with this team. In reference to number 3, Michigan sign stealing, I don't doubt it. I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, I don't need much evidence. I'm just not a big Michigan fan to begin with. So I'm going to say that they're doing it, without much evidence. Number 4, second half bold prediction. This team of ours, they're bipolar. And I really just hope that our, cerebral, more level set mindset sort of shows up, and rather than just play with so much emotion, that we play within our mental fortitude and our toughness, and that we can just sort of play all 4 quarters together. Mm-hmm. If we're able to do that, then we will be able to run the table. And that's what I would like to see. I would like to see us be more steady Eddie, stay within the program. The program is our friend. The process is our friend. Stick with the process. Mm-hmm. Number 5, college football top 4. I guess Georgia 1.
Yep.
I would probably slide Ohio State to 2.
Yes.
3 would probably be Oklahoma, and 4, I guess Michigan, but I think they're going to end up taking themselves out of the game.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for running through those. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the super chat. Anything else before I guess before we go, let's talk about Kendrick Law real quick before you bounce out, because I know that's what your super chat was about. Yeah. He just has like that it factor, it seems like, right? And getting him the football seems like something Alabama has to do in the second half of the season. And I think everyone got excited with the shovel pass that he took. Everyone's getting excited when they see him running with the football as a kick returner. And a lot of people want to see him as a punt returner. Whoever it is, I think that Kool-Aid maybe needs to be swapped out. Kool-Aid's doing a great job on defense, but the punt return is one area. With Alabama playing such an elite special teams, the punt return unit hasn't been that. So probably swap him out. I would assume Kendrick Law, and I think to my recollection in pregame, Kendrick Law has been returning punts, so maybe we'll see that. What do you like about Kendrick Law's game?
When I saw him come over and do sort of that like sweeping motion, the jet sweep motion, they gave him that shovel pass, I was just saying to myself, please give him the ball. Please give him the ball. And once they gave it to him, I was like, yes, finally. Like, I've been waiting for this, all season. I would love to see Kendrick more on like jet sweeping motions, kind of like what he did last year in the Ole Miss game. Mm-hmm. I just want to see him sort of be that safety valve for Jalen Milroe. And quite honestly, like with his physicality, I really feel like he could be better on the blocks, opening up for some of the other wide receivers as well. I just think he's a mismatch. So, and I'm not opposed to swapping out Kool-Aid, not because he's not a great player. It's just mainly like a confidence thing. Mm-hmm. And so, I would just like to see someone else take another crack at it as well. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all my takes, and I'm just going to sit back and listen to the show, and I appreciate you taking my call, Kyle.
All right, man. Stay hydrated, get some rest, man, and bounce back, and appreciate your support, man, and thanks for the super chat. Hey, good morning. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
This is David, and LSU sucks. I mean, a high school offensive coordinator is better than what Bill O'Brien was, in my opinion. And as we can all see, we've actually done fairly decent this year. I mean, not as good as we all want, but you can tell the difference. Between the running back game, the receivers that are being utilized. I believe Rees is actually doing a good job. I think after this year, I mean, it's his first year at Bama, and it's a lot of pressure because we all know, because we can see it in the comment section, and I've been one too over the past. That we criticize everything that goes on against the coach, defensive coordinator, offense, or whatever, because for so many years we have played at the highest level of anybody else in college football, and we expect that year in and year out. But it's not always like that. It's like Coach Saban said the other night on his show, the Thursday night show he does. Hey, Coach, this is a young team. It is a young team. If you look at what we have on the offensive line, that's young. Proctor's a sophomore? You got Dalcourt. You got all these young guys, and they're still learning. And we've seen what they've done against Tennessee. They've actually improved. And you can't expect them to come in just because they're a 5-star or 4-star and just be the top players in the country in the highest division of college football. I mean, these guys, if they were playing Division II or whatever, would be first-round draft picks in our eyes. But this is a whole different in this. And when you get up here in the FBS,